All right, you've now realized that maybe you've got some financial problems, or you're curious about bankruptcy, or you're surfing the internet and have nothing better to do. Now is the time to learn a little bit. My name is Scott Goldstein. I am the owner of the law offices of Scott J. Goldstein. I am a bankruptcy attorney. I practice in New York and New Jersey in a triangle from Poughkeepsie to Trenton to Brooklyn for the most part. Today, I'm going to put in the first installment of what I hope is going to be a continuing series of videos with bankruptcy basics and information for the investigating, the curious, and all those in between. So the first thing that we have is, let's talk about what kind of bankruptcy. Because bankruptcy, like ice cream, has flavors. Not nearly as many as Baxter and Robbins, but we've got a decent selection with something that can fit for almost everybody. The first thing I'm going to talk about is Chapter 7 bankruptcy, which is what I like to refer to as your basic bankruptcy. So, the vanilla of the bankruptcy world. Even though I kind of like vanilla, it's my favorite flavor. So, what is a Chapter 7 bankruptcy? I'm only going to discuss the individual cases now. So, an individual with consumer debt. So, money that you have borrowed for personal family matters, not to try to run a business, because there are different ways that those kinds of debts are treated and different ways that things work. So, Chapter 7 for individuals in the consumer sense is a liquidation of assets, in theory. What do I mean by in theory? Well, under the bankruptcy code, if you have assets and you wish to file for Chapter 7, in theory, the Chapter 7 trustee who is appointed to oversee your case could liquidate or sell your assets to pay your creditors, the people you owe. That being said, it is very rare that a trustee will actually liquidate anything from an individual in bankruptcy, because most people who file for Chapter 7 relief don't have a lot of stuff. Or what they do have is protected by what we call exemptions. So, most people don't actually lose anything in a Chapter 7 bankruptcy because they have nothing that is not exempt. But let's take a step back. When do you look for an attorney to file for Chapter 7? The first step is realizing that there is a problem, that you are spending beyond your means, that your monthly debt load, when added onto your basic living expenses, puts you onto a negative. So you have more going out than you have coming in, or you're cycling debt, which means you're just kind of paying off a little bit on a card just to get enough to be able to spend more on that card, and you're actually not able to afford your living expenses. You're just cycling through debt and just kind of on that treadmill and never going to get off. And that's really when you should start thinking about it. If you're draining savings, to have a bankruptcy lawyer time is probably a good idea. So, what do you do when you think of, well, do I qualify for bankruptcy? Do I want to file a bankruptcy case? Would Chapter 7 be the way to go? The first thing you want to do